Welcome to Share Talk, the only podcast where investors come first.
Hi, this is Zak Mir with the Bulletin Board Heroes here on Share Talk, the 15th of October. Starting off with Pantheon Resources, we're a few days into the break higher. Obviously, we had that slide from the beginning of June down towards 4.5 pence, but good consolidation earlier this month, and then the break of that initial resistance around the 5 pence or 5.5 pence level. While we're above 5.5 pence, looking for a top of broadening triangle from May as high as 12 pence, and hopefully that's seen as soon as the end of next month. Another stock which is a few days into a break higher, a rather spectacular one actually, Falcon Oil and Gas, and here we're trying to work out where the upside could be from current levels. Best scenario, I suppose, at the moment is that we hit the top of the rising trend channel that I'm drawing at the moment, the wide one from back in May last year. That has a resistance line there pointing up as high as 19 pence. Again, something that could be seen by the end of the next month. And we're looking for the upside to remain in place while we hold above, I suppose, 10 to 10.5 pence, which was support on the way down for the shares. On to stock which is covered quite a lot here, and obviously the shares had a decent rise earlier in the year. Looks as though Canadian overseas now just trying to get rehabilitated. We've had the higher low for October versus September, above 0.2 pence, and the view now is that while we hold above the latest low for October at 0.24, we could see higher prices, hopefully as high even as the top of the rising trend channel from May last year, currently pointing to 0.8 or 0.9 pence. If you're a bit more cautious, maybe you're just looking for 0.7 pence initially for these shares, but obviously from current levels that would be a big win. And also, if you're cautious, maybe you'd wait for an end-of-day close or a weekly close above the 50-day moving average at 0.33 as a momentum buy trigger. Stock which has been in focus today and causing quite a lot of bickering on Twitter as well between the bulls and the bears. A few killjoys out there, a few trolls and a few optimists all in the mix. But with GCM Resources, current charting situation is that while we're above 15 pence, which was resistance on the way down, we could hit the top of the broadening triangle from the beginning of the year as high as 26 pence. That's the sort of normal target, best case scenario target, probably up towards a resistance line from April's peak heading to 35 pence. So depending on your level of bullishness, that's where you would be looking at, so either 26 or 35 pence. A bit thin on the ground today as far as bullish situations are concerned, so maybe it's worth looking at some of the recent heroes. Let's say one of them is Genedrive, where we've had a couple of days bouncing on the 20-day moving average at £1.22. Also, in theory, I suppose we're breaking that line of resistance from back in May. That runs through, I suppose, around the same 122 level. So while we're above that, looking for the previously suggested 170 target, which is a July resistance line heading through the September peak. And that would hopefully be seen over the next month or so, maybe sooner, obviously given the way that Genedrive can move when it's in the mood. Stock which has also been rather bullish of late and continues to be so is Osisko Mining. The situation here is that it's broken all the resistance line targets, I think even the optimistic ones, so time to try and re-evaluate how high this stock could go. At the moment, probably looking towards the 50p zone, which would be the top of a rising trend channel from the end of August, and that target valid really while we hold above the resistance of yesterday at 26 pence, so above 26 pence, looking for further significant gains. I suppose at this stage only back below the floor of the channel from August at 21 pence, really killing the bull argument. But given the way that we've got these very solid looking green candles, it looks as though we could see much higher prices over the next 2 to 4 weeks for Orosur. Stock which I covered sporadically in the past is Osiris Technologies. A lot of dancing around, which is something which I complained about last time. We had a gap through we had a false dawn move through the 200-day line in August. Another bull trap through the 200-day line last week, but maybe it's third time lucky for the shares with the gap through the 200-day line at 23.5 now. And while we're above at least recent support around the 21 pence area, let's see if we can finally get the shares to get off the ground after the recent jiggery pokery, and looking for the top of the November triangle there from last year, currently heading up to 50 pence plus, and hopefully that's seen by the end of this or next month, this November, over on Osiris Technologies. Stock or a company that I interviewed a couple of weeks back, which is a very happy sounding story, is Pantheon Resources. We've still maintained the rising trend channel from May and the support there at and above the 20-day moving average at 38 pence. You might have to give it a little bit lower than 38, but at least while we're above the last low at 36 pence, looking for that long-awaited target up to 70 pence over the next 1 to 2 months for Pantheon at the moment. Power Metals, stock which is always making noises. The company was always rather keen to get its investor relations going. Here we've got the current situation where the shares just near the recent highs, probably now looking for an end-of-day close through 1.5 pence, which was the September intraday peak. If we can get that over the next few days or as a weekly close above 1.5 pence, then we would be looking and hoping for a top of 2019 price channel target up to 2 pence. At this stage, only really back below the 50-day line at 1.2 pence really delays the upside scenario at Power Metal Resources. On to a stock which hasn't been looked at here for quite a while. We've got Savannah Resources, I was going to say Savannah Petroleum, but Savannah Resources. Here, not much to go on, but we have broken through recent resistance around the 2 pence level, and that does set us up hopefully for a move, a decent move higher, breaking the triangle from back in May, and implying that the shares could hit the top of the rising trend channel there from March as high as 3 3/4 pence. So 3 3/4 pence for Savannah Resources while we hold above the 50-day line at 2 pence. Just a couple to go now in this rather longer than expected session. Synergen, I think it's a bit of a cash call has been arranged here, so we've got the company's got the money in now. It'd be good to see the shares hold above the 50-day moving average at around the the 195 level. I think the cash call was done at 175, so at least while we're above the 175 area, we're still on the bullish tack. But end of day close above the 50-day line today would cement the idea that eventually we'll break the initial October peak at 234 and head up to the top of the rising trend channel from July at 300 pence plus, and hopefully that's seen over the next 6 weeks or so, but ideally holding above that 175 and giving us an end of day close today above 195. Finishing off with what's been the stock of the week, which is Alien Metals. Here we've broken through Even the optimistic target of 1.3 pence, which was been touted for a few days. The last target left now, I suppose, will be to hit that line of resistance from the end of July and the top of the July channel as high as 2 pence, and 2 pence valid while we have an end of day close or no end of day close back below yesterday's peak at 1.3. So above 1.3, looking for what will be hopefully maybe a final near-term target at 2 pence for alien metals. That's it from me today. More updates tomorrow.
Thank you for listening. Remember to visit our website for more news and other podcasts at www.share-talk.com.